Greetings again, friends and fellow aliens, and thank you for tuning into this video, the second in a 10-video series about cognitive distortions, right? Distorted cognitive thinking. So what I'm covering in this series are videos related to your own fallacies, your own cognitive fallacies, the way that you think that is unhealthy, unproductive, and just plain bad. I don't really have a better word than that. It's just bad. Now, appropriately enough, this video is on something called over-generalization. My first video was on polarized thinking. That's the black and white thinking. If you haven't checked that one out, please do. But over-generalization is taking one poor moment and imprinting that poor moment on every moment to come. Now, I just had one of these moments, right? And I said this thing, I overgeneralize. I think this is really probably one of my favorite cognitive distortions. I say favorite in terms of the one one of the ones I tend to do the most. So I just recorded a video on this, but I forgot to start my audio recorder. So it's just me flapping my mouth, and I guess I could have dubbed over it like a really bad movie, but I didn't want to do that because I'm trying to be a little bit more serious with these. Jacqueline's here. She's just laughing at me. That would be really good, right? Overgeneralization, right? Like I could do it like a real bad kung fu movie. Yeah, that would be good. All right. So anyway, and immediately out of my head, she's like, don't worry, it's going to be better the second time around. I'm like, no, it's not. They're all going to be terrible. That's overgeneralizing, right? Making one mistake and imprinting that mistake on everything that you are about to do that hasn't even happened yet. Overgeneralizing is failing the test and saying, I'm a moron, like forever. I'm stupid. I'm never going to make it. It was one test. Like, relax. You were out partying. There was too many Jell-O shots or whatever. You woke up, like there was gum on the inside of the paper that said, please study, that kind of stuff. We are allowed to have bad moments. We are allowed to fail at things. Not every day is going to be your best. Overgeneralizing is taking that bad day and that bad moment and saying that that applies to absolutely everything that you're going to do. This is a lie that you tell yourself. Negativity is a disease. It's something that gets into you and it multiplies. It is a cognitive cancer of sorts, something that just reaches out into everything. And so we have a tendency to have that one negative moment, and that creeps into everything else. All of a sudden, we're short-tempered for the rest of the day. Or all of a sudden, something else that we try doesn't work. And you're like, well, go figure, like I'm terrible, because this didn't work either. We have bad days. We have days where everything goes wrong. It can happen. But that doesn't mean that that's you for the rest of your life. So I'm wondering how many of you have a tendency to overgeneralize, to say that because this one thing didn't work for me, everything else is terrible, everything I produce is trash, etc., etc. I had one of these moments with writing when I first got back into writing, was knocking the rust off, and really had not worked on my craft as much. And I shared some of my writing with somebody else that was very critical of it. And rightfully so. Like, the critiques were pretty on point for the most part. And I took that and really took that in. And my immediate thoughts were, I'm terrible at this. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to write. I'm never going to be a good writer. I'm never going to publish everything, and so on and so forth. Fast forward, and my book is on Amazon, and it's great. And it's got a bunch of amazing reviews, and I'm really happy, and I've had success. See, this is what overgeneralizing can do. Overgeneralizing can take that moment, and this wouldn't happen if I held on to it. Are you doing that to yourself? Are you holding yourself back because you had a poor experience or a bad single moment of sorts? Now, granted, some things you can't have a single bad moment for. Like, if you're like, I'm going to be the greatest parachutist ever, and you had a bad day, well, I mean, that was pretty much your last time trying, right? But not everything is life or death. And not everything is so extreme. And everything is in the preparation and getting up to it and understanding that not every moment is going to be perfect. Not everything is going to work out your way. And so when I received that kind of critical comment, I had to take a step back and I had to say, okay, I've got work to do. I don't want that to happen again. And just because I received a critical comment about one thing that I wrote does not mean that everything I'm writing is trash. Maybe something was bad. Maybe I used too many adverbs. Maybe whatever it is. I don't even remember what the comments were anymore, but I still remember the feeling. And that's what overgeneralization does, is it brings that waterfall of negativity into your mind And it does affect everything else. It makes you scared to do more. It makes you afraid of what the result might be because of that result. And this is obviously a really toxic way to conduct yourself and a toxic way to think. So are you one of these people? Are you an overgeneralizer? Let me know in the comments if you've had experience with somebody that thinks this way, or if you yourself have suffered from this kind of thinking. I want to know what it's like for you. And what do you do to get past it? And have you tried to make a point to step back and understand that one single event does not mean that every single event is going to work out the same way? And that just because you've had a bad day doesn't mean all of your days are going to be bad. Let me know, and be prepared for the third video, 3 of 10 on the next cognitive distortion. This one's going to be, ooh, good. The next one is on the mental filter. That sounds kind of technical, but we'll get into it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope these videos are helping you. And so please continue to check them out. If you haven't already, there is a join button below. You can join the Friends and Fellow Aliens, support this channel, be part of our private Facebook group. I'm dropping members only videos. There's one up right now. And so lots of good things come from being a member, plus supporting me and helping me create content just like this for you. So thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll catch you very, very soon.